Hello, today is July 19th, the year 2022, and this is Acidic Graham with my daily vlog. Today was the second full day of intermediate fasting for me. I've been intermediate fasting between 9 p.m. to 1 p.m. the following day, and the first day it went great. Had no troubles getting through it. Today was a little bit rougher. I don't know. I just didn't feel good at about like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Started not feeling well. But I had my shakes at 1 o'clock, my shake at 4 o'clock. I had a couple pieces of cheese to tide me over. That's not any, like I said, my guidelines isn't pencil, not in pen, so I have some, I'm having some leeways here. And then tonight I had some Italian sausage with some mushrooms and a little bit of mozz and a couple sugar-free Jell-O cups, and those are actually pretty good. Actually, the sugar-free ones are 10 calories each, and from what I understand from my bariatric schedule, this is a sample menu for the bariatric surgery when I get it, and this will be like the first. This will be like a menu that I'll have to follow for the first week after surgery. I'll give you a quick rundown. Is 8 a.m. 2 ounces of clear protein shake, 8:30 a.m. 2 ounces of water, 9 a.m. 2 ounces of sugar-free Jell-O, protein Jell-O, 9:30 a.m. clear protein shake, and so forth and so on. Rotating every half hour, rotating between clear protein shake, water, sugar-free Jell-O, and chicken broth. So. Yeah, so and from the nutritionist said that actually Jell-O, the sugar-free Jell-O is still considered, hydration. So bully for me. Anyway, so second day, it was kind of rough. I didn't feel good. I think it might be because I was cramming too much, protein shake in me in those between 1 and 5. So I might have to look into that. Maybe you're not supposed to drink that much protein shake. I mean, it's not that much protein in the shake either. It's like 20 grams or something, like 28 grams. So it's not that overwhelming amount. I think it might be just the volume of the shake. I think it might be just too much. Like I put almond milk in it, so that shouldn't affect it too much. I also use this keto powder. It's a dissolvable powder. It's a dissolvable fat that dissolves in liquid. I put that in there. So I might dial that back a little bit. Maybe that's what was turning making me feel, not very good. But anyway, day 3 just started, like I said, as of a couple hours ago. It's 11:15 p.m. this time, so about 2 hours, 15 minutes into day 3. I don't expect the fasting part to be the problem. I really don't. I think that the problem will be is staying within the, making sure that shake will satisfy my, my appetite, and I can actually get it down, and I actually don't feel full. I mean, I don't feel hungry right now even. I feel fine. So I guess that's the whole thing, is to maintain that feeling throughout that last 8 hours that you're allowed to eat during this fast. So anyway, that's all the boring shit out of my way. Let's see. Today, one of my friends, Gabriel, reached out to me over Facebook. It was nice to hear from him. It was good to hear from him. He had some woes going on with him I felt bad. And I did try calling him when I heard about one of his bad news, but I think the phone number I have is no good. I'll have to follow up with him. But I'm glad that he's doing well. It seems like he's doing well, and I'm glad that he reached out to me. And he's one of the trues. You know what I mean? He's just one of the true ones. I disappeared for like 2.5 years, like I said, from Facebook. Guess what? He was always messaging me, and one of my moves is when I get to my depression and anxiety state is I withdraw. I withdraw into myself, and I go back into a dark place within me. And that dark place, unfortunately, was an event that happened to me when I was a kid. I was locked in my grandmother's bedroom for hours on end. To basically, if I made any noise, I got yelled at and was told to shut up. And that's where I retreat right now, even when things get rough and when I get uncomfortable, when I have to deal with a tough decision, or when things get rough, I retreat back to that spot, into that corner of my grandmother's bedroom in the corner of that house. And what's kind of funny is that I have nightmares. I still have, they're still in my dream, but they're not as bad as they used to be. But I have, not as often, as frequently, because it's a dream that I'd have almost every night. I mean, it comes in different strengths, different waves, but what it was is in my dreams, I'd be in the house, and I would feel that the house was haunted or possessed by the demon. And every time I was in the house, I just felt this evilness over me, and all the people that were in the house, they were like possessed. And I'm trying to battle them to get them out of my house, get them out of the house, so I can, be comfortable in the house. But the realization I came to recently was, what happened? What if I'm actually the one haunting their house? I'm not dead, obviously, but what happens if my spirit, or a little residual energy of me, is still in that spot, in that house? And since I have such a connection with that spot, every time I retreat to that spot, what happens if I am still charging that spot, charging that battery, making things happen? Maybe I am the one haunting them, and they're not being, evil to me, as saying they're haunting my spot. I'm actually haunting their spot, and they're telling me I don't belong there. Maybe that's what is happening. That was a realization that happened a few weeks ago, that that when things get rough for me, I retreat back to that spot. And it was kind of a floored to think about, maybe it's my residual, or maybe it's me haunting that location, and the people that live there just want me out of there because I don't belong there. That's their house. And maybe it's just my subconscious telling me I don't belong there. I need to be present and face my problems, face my fears, and face the challenges that make life life. So I think that's what it really was, is my subconscious telling me that, it's not healthy for me to be retreating back to that spot, and fight back if I want to have a happy life going forward. And so I think that's what it is, though. It's interesting, though, how dreams have meaning to it if you open yourself up to it. And yeah, it's a realization about myself that was really it was a shocker to me, to be honest with you. I never really considered the fact that caves and safe places were actually real. I thought it was psychic mumbo jumbo, but it isn't. It's true. I mean, some places are like happy places, and some places are retreat, and it's a place when I retreat to that spot. It's like I'm it seems like the longer I'm there, it's kind of like groundhog looking for the sun, but. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about that for now. But that was just interesting. But anyway, back to Gabe. It's like I felt bad that I kind of iced him out, and iced a lot of people out the last couple of years. But one thing I did discover, thanks to some select people, is that no man is an island, and there's all, because people are always there, just a call away, message away, even if it's you spurring it on or them spurring it on, they're inspired to get in touch with you or whatnot. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that Steve reached out over Instagram and comments on Facebook. I'm thankful that Erica has reached out on Instagram messages. I'm very grateful that Lowell continues to reach out on Instagram, and also Gabriel reaching out and on Facebook. So and I know there's others out there that are on my side. It's nice to know that I'm not really alone, and it's not that I'm being a prick. It's that when things get rough for me, like I said, I retreat, and I self-isolate, and that sucks. I don't like isolating, but it's easier for me to do that than confront the issues. And but I'm learning to fight back, and I'm fighting the biggest thing that is that's a part of my life right now, and it's my weight, and I'm fighting that by doing the keto diet and now intermittent fasting, and proceeding with the surgery. Like I said, I'm not worried about the future anymore. The only thing I'm worried about is when I get to the point where I have to pay for the surgery. I'm going to beg, borrow, steal for that, so I'm not even worried about that even. So I'm not even worried about that. I think it will be anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 with insurance copay. Because I think the most it will be is 20%, and the surgery is $18,000, I think. So $16,000 or $18,000. So I'm not even worried about that. I'll get that. I'll beg, borrow, steal that money. But I'm not even worried about that. All I'm worried about is regaining some liberty that I've had in my past. And since I've locked myself away in my mind and my body, and withdrew, and there's been wreckage and chaos around me withdrawing like that for so long, and it's a harvest that is being reaped right now. So I mean, some of the harvest is going to be good. I mean, finding the power to make these changes in my life is good, and there's going to be some bad with that reaping as well, and I'll just take it as it is. My whole goal right now is getting through, getting these steps, gaining control of what I can control, and what I can control is what I eat, when I eat, how I eat, and making sure that I made this commitment for the surgery is make sure I keep the appointments and work towards the goals that they are setting. They're helping set forth. I mean, no one's forcing me to do the surgery. This is completely an elective surgery. I'm going to them for their professionalism, asking them for their help. They're there to help. They're good people, and they want to help. They wouldn't be in the business if they weren't. So it's all warts and all. I'm going in right now. So it's it's, being severely obese for my whole life. I mean, it wasn't that bad when I was in my 20s and stuff, but as soon as I hit 20 and I started working where I work now, boy, oh boy, I probably doubled my weight. Yeah, I probably did double my weight in the last 20 years. That's scary, man. It's scary, but you know what? Right now, I'm confronting it and gonna get through it. So that's my whole goal, is to get through the surgery part. Then anything after that is, that's it. And then that's it. One thing at a time, as they say, right? So yeah, I'm kind of babbling and being random on this message or on this video tonight, but that's okay. It's my thoughts, and it's my unloading to the vlog, to the world, downloading myself, on the video. So let's see. Oh, one thing I will say I'm looking forward to the new Dance Gavin Dance album coming out. It's called Jocko Juicer. They've released 3 singles so far from the album, and if you like progressive rock, math rock, if you like unclean vocals, I really suggest you check it out. Band is Dance Gavin Dance. Their album is called Jocko Juicer. It comes out like at the end of the month, but they have 3 songs on it, and they're very good. One of the songs is called Die Another Day, and it's such a good lyric. I mean, it's such a good music. And anyway, so I wanted to share a quote from Jocko Willenick. He has a podcast called the Jocko Podcast, and if you're into military or into human behavior or anything like that, he probably is the best in that lane. I don't listen to every single podcast of his, but I listen to a great many of them, and he's in a pantheon. He's on my Mount Rushmore of podcast influencers. But the quote he has is here, excuse me, is admitting mistakes, taking ownership, and developing a plan to overcome challenges are integral to any successful team. That is such a profound statement, especially in today's society where everyone wants to avoid admitting mistakes. Even me, I don't like to avoid mistakes, but you know what? Because if I make a mistake, guess what? I tie that to my ego. I tie that to my value of myself. But people make mistakes. There's nothing wrong in admitting a mistake. Taking ownership. Even if you, say if you have the job I'm at, we have some employees on my team that don't take ownership of their position. For example, I haven't gone anywhere in my department for the last 12 years. I've been pretty much in the same job. But guess what? I'm taking ownership of that job, and I'm trying to make things better for the department, or for myself and the department. Taking ownership doesn't mean you have to sell your soul to the company store. It just means giving an honest effort, and coming up with a suggestion or two, and if something needs to be done, take the ownership of getting it done instead of passing it off. Developing a plan to overcome challenges, and that's true. I mean, if you have even if it's small things, like in our department, we have back order situations of back ordered parts. You know what? That's a challenge to get those orders filled. And those are 3 things that are integral to the successful team. That's true. If you make a mistake, admit it. Let people know, hey, I made a mistake. I'm taking ownership of that mistake. Give me a plan on how to overcome it. That's all it is. I did that the other day. We had a meeting with HP, And a few months ago, there were some problems with tax being charged on our orders. It wasn't me who, it was me on a few of them. It was another party who no longer works for the company on a couple of them. And there was some internet or website issues with HP that caused us to be charged tax on a series of orders. But when 3 months ago or so that was brought to my attention, you know what, I admitted the mistake, I took ownership for the mistake, and I made a plan, and to where we haven't been charged tax yet on an order since then. But 2 weeks ago we had a meeting with HP, and they're regurgitating the same talking point. I'm like, holy fuck, guys. I said, this was an issue back in March. I said, Konica told me, the CAM people told me about it. The people I work with told me about it. I went to HP, told them about it, and they told me what needed to be done, and I told the KM people what needed to be done. Guess what? They didn't do shit about it. They let it sit. They didn't follow up. But they're trying to pin it on me, which is bullshit. But you know what I did? I took ownership of it. I spoke up at the meeting, and the lady from HP was actually starting to dog me without even knowing I was there. And I unmuted myself in the thing, and I said, excuse me, I'm the one that's responsible for entering all these purchases on your website. I told him, I said, I admit that mistakes happen. You know what? It happens. It's a mistake. And I said, you know, I take ownership of that mistake. You know what? I feel bad about it, but you know what? It's an easy fix. I said, I asked you in February if you could credit, or March, that if you could credit and rebuild this, and your department said no, they can't. They need to have someone from KM a little bit higher to discuss it with them. And I reported that, and I said, I don't see anybody taking ownership or admitting a mistake to not getting this resolved in March. And no one said anything after that, which was good. You know, I'm sticking up for myself, but I'm also taking responsibility for my errors. So, and that's with work-wise. But then also, you know, this whole admitting mistakes and, you know, taking ownership also works in the personal life as well. And there's a lot of people reaching out now to me, wanting, you know, to talk and whatnot, to get in, you know, to, you know, reestablish a relationship, a friendship. And, you know what, admitting the mistakes of not keeping up, you know, relationships over the last 20 years or a few years is hard for me to admit. But, you know, the funny thing is, it's a two-way street, you know. You know, it's two ways. I mean, there's always little, you know, things that happen, you know, that, you know, control whether or not that friendships or relationships are smooth or maintained. And a lot of it comes down to individual. But if it's like for example, with my family, I don't feel that. I feel that it's like an equal blame on both sides. You know, I mean, time marches on. I mean, 20 years. You know, I left Iowa 23 years ago. And I didn't, you know, I'd never looked back, to be honest with you. I haven't been back to Iowa. And I'm in the, you know, it's a very big possibility that I'll be moving back there within this year. So, but I'm not worried about that. I know that we'll be fine. You know, I know that we'll be fine. But, you know, that's a rough thing. You know, I have people from Iowa that were reaching out to me, and guess what? I was the asshole and I didn't reach out back. But, you know, I'm trying to establish it. I'm trying to establish those friendships back, communications back with the true ones. You know, there's a true. I have a buddy back in Iowa that he's true. You know, he's a hell of a dude. You know, I've always looked up to the guy. I've always liked him, and his name is Lowell. You know, I've always, you know, looked up to him. You know, it's kind of weird, but. Anyway, if you're watching this, Lowell, you know, I do look up to you. I still, you know, I do. I mean, I admire you for your, for what you have done. I mean, it's so cool that, you know, that you're still, you know, playing music and whatnot. For me, that was just something I did. I may have been good at it, but it's just something I did. I didn't really put any effort into it. It'd been nice if I did put effort into it. You know, I feel bad about that, but I think it's cool. I think it's cool that you struck out of where we worked at the evil empire, as Bennett says, and you went to work for Roche, I believe. I don't remember, but you're in a very respectable company right now, in a respectable position. It's very admirable, and I do admire you for that, and I do admire you for your being a father towards your kids, doing the soccer and the Little League. I think that's just tremendous. It's a value that is very frowned upon nowadays. I don't know if it's frowned upon or if it's not encouraged, but, I admire that. Same with Jesse, and same with, I admire his commitment to his family, too. I kind of wish that I had that same kind of environment while growing up, but I'm not going to dog on that in case my mom's watching this video. There's, we can talk about that later. But, shit happens. Unhappy people cause unhappy environments. Unhappy environments are, lead to bad habits and, bad things. If you have moisture in a basement and leak in a basement, guess what? You're going to get mold. Same thing with relationships, and same thing, if you're not happy, it breeds an unhappy environment, and it just you end up at 49 years old, over 500 pounds, trying to figure out how in the hell you got there. But I know how I got there, and I know how I'm going to combat it. Anyway, this is the longest video I've done to date, and I felt like I got on a roll at the end, so I'm gonna wrap it up now. It's getting a little late. I need to drink a little bit of water before I go to bed. I don't like to drink water after 10 or 11, because of getting up to go to the bathroom, which sucks. Don't like doing that in the middle of a sleep, and you're like, I gotta go to the bathroom, whatever. But anyway, that's dumb me. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna check out. I'll talk to y'all later. You have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow and upon completion of day 3 of intermediate fasting. And I will admit something. I did have 2 cups of sugar-free Jell-O, 10 calories each, at 11 o'clock tonight. So, is that a broken fast? Or is it nothing to worry about? I'm not worried about it. Just wanted to admit that, because it's kind of cool to admit things you've done, because you give the impression to people that you're doing something between this time frame. But you know what? I'm taking ownership. I eat 2 fucking cups of Jell-O, 20 calories right here. All right, have a good night.